The tremors begin before the sound. It is a language the Sky-Stone clan understands in their bones. A deep, resonant pulse that travels through the bedrock of their cave. K's hand tightens on the haft of his flint-tipped spear. The one with a cold comes to it. He watches the small pebbles on the cave floor dance. Outside, the perpetual twilight of the fern-choked jungle is unnaturally still. The cicadas are silent. The small, feathered compsognathus that usually skitter through the undergrowth have vanished. Fear has scrubbed the world clean. Then comes the soundy low roar that is less and more a physical pressure. A force that constricts the chest and rattles the teeth. The tyrant lizard is hunting again. This has become their life. They are a people defined by shadow and silence. Their history carved in the scratches on cave walls and the tally of the missing. For 3 cycles of the moon, the great Tyrannosaurus Rex has stalked their territory. It is not like the others, the brutish Allosaurus that can be distracted, or the packs of raptors that can be outsmarted. This one is old, scarred, and possesses a terrifying cunning. It has learned the clan's patterns, the location of their hunting grounds, the paths to their water sources. It does not just hunt, it besieges. The bones of Alara and her son lie shattered at the edge of the river. A lesson the beast left for them 2 days ago. They are prisoners in their own home, their world shrinking with every earth-shaking footstep. The great challenge of prehistoric life is not simply finding food, but avoiding becoming it. Lyra, her face smudged with charcoal and dread, crawls to Kayla's side. She is young, but her eyes hold the ancient weariness of all human ancestors. She points with a trembling finger through a fissure in the rock. It watches the grey slopes. She whispers, her voice a dry rasp. Across the valley, the beast stands partially silhouetted against the bruised sky, its massive head sweeping slowly, methodically. It is a patient monster. Kale knows they cannot wait it out. The last of the smoked lizard is gone. The children's bellies are beginning to bloat. A hard choice is coming. A choice between the slow, certain death of starvation and the swift, violent one in the jaws of the tyrant. Then, through the gloom, something else moves. It is immense. A living hill of armor and horn that plods with serene indifference through the valley. The walking mountain. The clan calls it an Ankylosaurus. So vast and ancient its back is a miniature ecosystem of moss and hardy ferns. Its hide is a mosaic of fused bony plates. Thick osteoderm is that have defeated every predator KL has ever seen challenge it. Even the tyrant lizard gives it a wide berth, knowing the destructive power of its clubbed tail. The clan watches as the great herbivore browses, its passage a slow, inexorable journey to nowhere in particular. It is a fortress. A moving, living, unassailable fortress. An idea, wild and desperate, sparks in Kayla's mind. It is the kind of thought that comes only when every sane option has been exhausted. He looks not at a beast, but at a sanctuary. The ascent was a desperate scramble in the dead of night. A terrifying climb up a leaning rock spire and a leap of faith onto the walking mountain's broad. Shifting back while it lumbered. Now, perched between the great bony plates of its armor, the world of the Sky-Stone clan has been remade. Their existence is one of constant, gentle motion, a rhythmic sway that marks the creature's gait. The ground, once their home and hunting ground, is a distant, menacing blur. Up here, the air is cleaner, the view is vast, and the earth-shaking tread of the tyrant lizard is a remote, personal threat. But their new home is no paradise. It is a wild, untamed continent of living flesh and bone. The first challenge is not from a predator, but from a plague. Swarms of black, biting flies, each the size of a man's thumbnail, rise from the swamps the Ankylosaurus plods through. They torment the great beast, crawling into the soft folds of skin around its eyes and nostrils, feasting on its blood. The walking mountain becomes agitated, shaking its colossal body in waves that threaten to pitch the small humans from its back. Their crude shelters of hide and bone threaten to tear loose. This is the precarious reality of their plan. They are not masters here. They are fleas on a god. Lyra, her mind always turning on the small details others miss, watches the beast torment. She observes how it scrapes its head against low-minus hanging branches, crushing dozens of the insects, only for the swarm to descend again. This is a problem of anthropology in its most primal form, understanding the needs of another, vastly different being. She gathers the clan's children, not for a hunt, but for a harvest. They collect the broad, waxy leaves of the moon minus fern and the resinous sap of the spear minus point. In the shadow of a dorsal scoot, they use their ancient tools, stone grinders, to mash the leaves into a pungent, oily paste. It is Kale who takes the first risk. He cautiously lowers himself down the creature's neck, bracing his feet in the crevices of its keratinous hide, and begins smearing the foul-smelling balm around its massive eye sockets. The beast stills. It's great. Cal-like eye swivels to watch him, an orb of ancient amber filled with a slow, dawning comprehension. The flies, repulsed by the scent, scatter. The great beast shuddering ceases, replaced by a deep, rumbling sigh of contentment. This is the first payment, the first true thread of symbiosis. Their pact is tested days later. A pack of velociraptors, lean and feathered hunters with the intelligence of wolves, has been tracking the Ankylosaurus for days. They are not interested in the armored giant, but in the soft morsels riding on its back. They attack at dusk, a blur of synchronized motion. One raptor leaps, using its sickle claw to gain a purchase on the beast's leg, scrambling up the side. Before the clan can react, it is among them, a flurry of teeth and claws. A warrior named Orin falls, his throat torn out. Panic erupts, but Kale's voice cuts through the terror. He directs his hunters, showing them how to use the high ground, to brace their spears against the bony protrusions and create a wall of deadly points. They are not just hunters anymore. They are defenders, as the raptors slash and probe. The Ankylosaurus, feeling the commotion and the sting of the raptor's claws on its armored flanks, responds. It does not panic. It alters its course, swinging its body to scrape one of the attackers against a massive cycad. Then lets out a low bellow. Its great club tail, a weapon of geologic force, sweeps slow and fast. There is a sickening crunch as it connects with a leaping raptor, sending the shattered predator flying. The remaining pack members, unnerved by this coordinated defense, now back into the jungle. The clan has proven its worth. They are no longer parasites. They are a living part of the mountain's own immune system. The equilibrium they find is a fragile one, a hard -1 piece scarf from the back of a living god. For a time, their world becomes a predictable rhythm of movement and stillness, a foraging when the walking mountain browses near the treetops, and huddling against the wind when it crosses the open plains. They have learned its language, the low rumble that signals contentment, the agitated snort that warns of a perceived threat. They have developed new skills, a unique form of primitive technology born of necessity. They weave nets from vines to catch the arboreal lizards that scurry across the beast's back and craft long, hooked paws to pull fruit from branches the Ankylosaurus brushes against. Their osteodontocratic technology evolves rapidly. The bones of the raptor they killed have become spearheads, bows, and fishhooks, far stronger than the wood they once used. The clan is not just surviving, it is adopting, becoming a new kind of creature, entirely a symbiotic collective, a microcosm of human evolution happening on a timescale of weeks instead of millennia. This era, millions of years before recorded ancient history, is a crucible for the ingenuity that will define Homo sapiens. The world below, the world of the hunt, feels like a distant memory, a nightmare from a previous life. But the tyrant lizard has not forgotten them. The old T-Rex, driven by a primal territorial rage and the memory of prey that vanished, has been hunting them, not with blind fury, but with the chilling patience of an apex predator. It has been observing, learning the walking mountains' patterns of migration, The confrontation comes in the blood minus red light of a dawn choked with volcanic dust. The Ankylosaurus is drinking from a wide, shallow river when the earth begins to tremble with that familiar, dreaded cadence. The tyrant appears on the opposite bank, its massive form wrapped in mist, a creature from a fever dream. It does not charge recklessly. It circles, its movements calculated, its gaze fixed not on the armored herbivore, but on the small figures clinging to its back. This is personal. It lets out a roar that is a declaration of war, a sound that promises obliteration. The walking mountain shifts, its body tensing, its great tail lifting from the mud in readiness. This is the moment Kale has been preparing for. Fears a cold knot in his stomach. But foresight is his weapon. He barks orders, and the clan moves with the practiced efficiency of a single organism. They are no longer defenseless passengers. Along the spine of the Ankylosaurus, they have stockpiled their arsenal-heavy stones, sharpened stakes of bone, and spears tipped with the raptor's sickle claws. As the Tyrannosaurus Rex wades into the river, lunging for the beast's undefended head, Kale gives the signal. The clan rains down their projectiles. Most bounce harmlessly off its thick hide, but a few find their mark. A heavy rock strikes the tyrant's sensitive snout, and a sharpened bone spear lodges in the soft flesh beneath its eye. It roars in pain and fury, shaking its head, momentarily distracted. It is the only opening they will get. Lyra screams a command, pointing to the beast's underbelly, to the softer, less minus protected region of its gastwalia, as the tyrant rears up for another attack. The Ankylosaurus makes its move, guided by a primal instinct for survival and perhaps a flicker of altruistic fury for its small defenders. It pivots with impossible speed. Its tail, a sledgehammer of solid bone, swings in a devastating arc. It connects with the tyrant's leg with a sound like a thunderclap, shattering bone. The great predator collapses into the water, its reign of terror ending in a thrashing, agonizing demise. The clan on the walking mountain watches in stunned silence, their fears slowly giving way to a profound, earth-minus shattering realization. They did not just survive, they fought back, and they won. The carcass of the tyrant lizard rots in the river, a monument to a shattered dynasty. The sky-minus stone clan, forever changed, continues its endless journey on the back of their living fortress. They have transcended the role of prey. In their struggle against the walking apocalypse, they did not simply find a clever hiding place. They forged an alliance, an unbreakable bond between mammal and reptile, between nascent intellect and ancient power. This single act of defiance, this audacious gamble, is more than a story of survival. It is a seed. It is the blueprint for every future act of human audacity, every boat that challenged an ocean, every wall that defied an army, every mind that dared to question the heavens. The instincts honed on the back of the walking mountain foresight, cooperation, the courage to face the impossible and weaponize either world around them, become the bedrock of our species. Their desperate gambit against a titanic beast asks a question that echoes through the corridors of time. Is the ultimate purpose of intelligence not to dominate nature, but to find a place of balance within it, to turn the very forces that would destroy us into the pillars of our salvation? This is not a tale of how we conquered the world. It is a chronicle of how we first learned to ride it. And in the deepest jungles to the south, a different clan looks to the skies, not with fear, but with a dawning, dangerous curiosity.